Hey guys, so today we're actually going to be taking a look at the newest addition to Pokemon Masters, a game that I'm slowly but surely getting into more and more. Fantina is the new unit that we're going to be talking about, and on the channel I actually have a guest with me. Zenrotto is here. What's going on, Nan?
Hey, how's it going?
So I actually went ahead and did a collab on his channel as well, so I'll leave a link to that video in the description below. So make sure you go and check that out before this one, because we talked about Sabrina in that one, and she has been in the game a few days longer than Fantina.
Yeah, it was a really weird banner release schedule. It was like 2 or 3 days.
Yeah, I guess they want to pump these guys out just because they probably have something big coming up in April here. Okay, so yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at what she does. Overall, I mean, what is she? She's like a attacker,
She's a special striker. Yep.
Yeah. So I mean, anything you want to just mention right off the bat about this unit? I know she is not exceptionally good, especially when you compare her to units like Steven, Red, like all those all Pokefair exclusive units, right?
Right. Well, she's the first, I believe, the first Gacha Ghost type since release, since Phoebe.
Oh, okay.
And Gengar was also in release.
Agatha.
Yeah, Agatha and Gengar, who is secretly fairly good in my opinion. She reminds me a lot of Gengar. A little bit less weird. I think she's better than Gengar because she basically does what Gengar does, but a little bit better. But yeah. Nothing is super standout in my opinion.
Yeah, I think her main, I guess, ability is going to be the Dance With Me ability. Just restoring move gauges. 3 move gauges is actually going to be pretty useful. I mean, you can't even use that as like a supporting thing. Like you just have her as like a side character. Yeah. And then you have like one main attacker, and then whenever the attacker uses, like, let's say Charizard uses like Heat Wave or Flare Blitz or Blast Burn, and you use the move gauges, you can just use her to restore those, and then just keep attacking with Charizard and not even worry about the Miss Magius at all. Yep,
because Dance With Me, it only raises her move gauge, but the move gauge is shared. So you're getting 3 entries. So you could definitely do that.
And then something I was noticing too about this unit is, like, I think obviously her stats are not like insanely high or anything. She has 323 special attack at max level. That's what I'm looking. That's what I'm seeing right here. But the thing that's probably going to determine whether or not she's actually going to be good is this Bulk Buster passive. The more HP the target has, the more it powers up moves. So
yes. I don't know the math on that.
Yeah.
So obviously at full health she's going to be, and I don't think she's going to be getting targeted very often. Her defensive stats are pretty low, so I doubt she's going to pull aggro very much. So she should have that up most of the time. Yeah. But it also means that it looks like she's going to get kind of lit up by AoE moves like Earthquake and Bulldoze that a lot of bosses carry. So I could see some interesting team combinations with her if she ends up being very powerful damage-wise to protect her with units like Probopass.
And even, like, would you say, because I guess keeping her on high health is what you want to be doing, so maybe even using Alakazam's, like, what does he have, like, Light Screen or whatever it was, Reflect?
Alakazam has Reflect, and not Miss Magius. What's the other one? Meganium has Light Screen.
Yeah, I mean, like, you could use those too to help keep her at, like, decently high health, so that passive kicks in better as well, I guess.
And Alakazam also has a heal. So.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that's why they released them so close together, because they actually looks like they work pretty well together.
Yeah, they work decently well together. It's interesting that, so I think Dance With Me also increases the crit rate, which is pretty good. So if you have Alakazam and her together, you can max out her crit pretty quickly, which is good. I think when you get to 3 stacks of crit, I don't know the exact, it's something like a 90% chance to crit at 3 stacks or something like that. Like, it's a crazy high rate.
Yeah, that's insane.
That's basically guaranteed. Yeah.
What do you think about this Backfire passive? Basically, like, whenever this unit dies, it sharply lowers the special attack of all opposing enemies, basically.
Right, yeah, I don't know, because I haven't seen anything that really lends to thinking that, like, attack reduction is really going to be that big of a mitigation tool, especially if you're using her as, like, your primary attacker. The trade-off is not worth it. But I
Yeah.
could see it, like you were saying, with Red, where you have her as sort of just a secondary Pokemon, that it would be interesting. But then you run into the problem of how am I going to get aggro onto her to make sure that she dies first.
Yeah, that's a good point. Is there like a way to control that in this game? I'm not 100%
So
sure on
aggro is based entirely on your defensive stats.
that. Okay.
I don't know which one it's prioritized. I think it might be health. Whoever has the highest total like base health is who is pulled
So she's
first.
not going to be. She's not going to be getting aggro at all.
Well, what her health is? What 475,
470,
473,
yeah.
something like that.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. Probably not. Probably not.
Yeah.
I mean, Charizard, for example, has 760. So
Yeah, it's a little bit higher.
a little bit higher, yeah. So that's probably not going to happen very much, but it might be interesting in co-op if you're up against like a harder fight, where instead of
Right.
having somebody in the middle like an Eevee that's going to pass a buff, instead you would get the blanket debuff on all the enemies when she dies. That could be interesting.
That's interesting. Wait, I'm just thinking because like if you debuff the entire enemy team and Eevee is on the enemy team, and then Eevee passes a buff back, does that debuff get passed?
If the debuff is on Eevee, I don't believe so. I think Eevee only
That would be
passes
interesting.
stat upgrades, but let me read the exact wording of Benefactor. I have the game open. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
Eevee
just- I
only
don't know,
passes
it's-
increases to stats, not
Oh, okay.
decreases.
Sorry. Yeah.
Also, I'm pretty sure I'm wrong about it being health. I think it's actually defensive stats. I don't know if it's an average of all three or not. Because I know like Mew pulls aggro over Charizard, but has about 300 less defenses than it does. I think it's a defense
Yeah.
and special defense that matter, which is even
Yeah, I
worse
mean-
for her because her defense and special defense are terrible. So you're
defense
never
is-
going to get backfire
Her defense is
in single
123.
player unless she gets nuked by an AoE move.
So in terms of backfire, like I don't know if you actually want to end up making a team like specifically built around that ability, because I feel like I'd rather just use a different Pokemon entirely, like than just stick this person on a team and be like, okay, well I guess she can just die and that'll be it, right?
Yeah, well,
I don't know.
I guess I could see it in something like a legendary event, having it out in the front, because basically the way PvP or not PvP but co-op online teams are made is you have just a generic attacker in the front that's just there to do damage. You've got whoever is in the middle, whatever, either you got another attacker or a support passer, and then your full damage like Mega Evolution in the back. So you could do something like putting her in the front and letting her buff herself up really fast and attack with Shadow Balls, use Dance with Me to get her move gauge back up so she can consistently throw damage out, and then when she gets inevitably killed, you just let Backfire go off.
Yeah, so it's kind of more like a secondary thing. It's just like it's there and you just, it happens when it happens, more so than I want to force this to happen sort of thing.
Yeah, I don't think that there's really anything that you'll want, because I mean, her attack stats are pretty okay. 323 is not incredible, but she can get to +4 on her own, and she can get her crit rate to +2 on her own, plus she gets 2 extra attacks out of Dance with Me. So I think she can pump out a decent amount of starter. She's not like an Olivia or a Brendan, but she can do it. And then,
and then
you
also
just get that
factor in
added
the
benefit.
Bulk Buster.
Yeah, the Bulk Buster extra damage. I wish I knew the math on that. That could end up being incredible.
Yeah, like for all I know, that could be like an extra effective like 300 special attack. I don't know.
I mean, it could be at full health. Is it doubling the power of the moves? Like, what's it doing? I don't know. It could be really good, but I think that's probably where she's going to shine. If you end up pulling her, is going to be the front of a PvP. Or, God damn it, I keep saying PvP. I'm stuck in Grand Cross. The front of a co-op team, I think, is going to be her best position.
And then something else that's interesting to note is, like, I'm kind of surprised they didn't just throw both of these new units, so Sabrina and Fantina, on a banner together. Like, I don't know why they threw them on separate banners. It seems so weird.
I think they've never had... I'm 90% sure, so I never want to commit 100%. But I don't think they've ever had 2 new units on a banner at the same time.
Yeah, I think I don't remember them ever doing that.
Because even when Red released, they dropped Elisa on the exact same time, but they were 2 separate banners. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, I guess that's the trade-off of having the rates be 2% for new unit, right? It's just you can't have them on the same banner. I mean, that's fair. I mean, personally, if you're free to play, I don't think you would recommend someone summon, right, on this
No,
for this
no,
character.
no. Definitely not.
Yeah.
There are better characters that have been around since launch that do the same thing that she does.
Yeah, that's why I kind of just don't understand like why introduce like in terms of power creep. She's not really power creeping anything at all, and it's like I guess the only thing that makes her desirable is her typing. Like I can't think of another reason.
Yeah, I mean,
you'd
Ghost
summon.
is pretty rare. I mean, like I said, I think you've got Phoebe, who was launch gacha. You've got Agatha, who was launch gacha, and then I think there's a free Ghost, the Palisand, but that thing is a supporter. It's not going to do any damage. So I mean, she's the best offensive Ghost type damage dealer for whatever that's worth right now. I don't think she's a huge enough upgrade over. Oh, there's actually Chandelure also, who I think is free. So there's there's a free offensive Ghost type as well. I just don't see her being enough of an upgrade unless, like I said, unless that Bulk Buster really blows me out of the water and I'm just not seeing how good it really is. I don't see really any reason to pull for her at all.
Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate too because like especially for me, like even Sabrina, like I don't think Sabrina is worth pulling for, even though she's probably better than Fantina is just overall. It's like I have a connection with like the character because I grew up watching Gen 1 and stuff, and it's like I don't know, because like I'd rather just save all my gems for the Poke Fair because it's so much more value.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's how you play this game regardless. I break that rule when it comes to characters. I threw a multi at Sabrina because she's from Kanto, and I happened to get her. I went really hard for Leaf and Eevee because of Festival of Champions, and I got her. But like, especially if you're rationing your gems, Poke Fair should be 100% of what you're doing. They've never had a Poke Fair where they've taken units out of the general pool. They're always in there.
Yeah, and then one last thing to note too is there's no gifts on this banner. Like
yeah, that weirded me out. Why would you not do that?
I am so confused. Like Sabrina, who came up, who the banner, her banner literally goes away 2 days before this banner goes away, has gifts on it, and the gifts are actually really good. And then this banner has like literally nothing. There's not even a gift button. You can't even look at it.
Yeah, they don't even give you sync orbs for her like they did for Red and Sabrina, let alone all the evolution stuff. It's really weird.
Yeah, it's like they kind of like just threw her out there and we're like, okay, well, we need to throw out this character eventually, so we'll just throw her out here
Did they
now.
think nobody would pull for Sabrina, but Fantina was good enough that people would pull for her?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's really weird. That's also probably another factor in me probably deciding not to summon on this banner. But I think that's pretty much it. I mean, if you take a look at the offering rate, it is the same as typical rates. It's 7% overall and then 2% for the new unit. I'm wondering, is Sabrina on here? I don't think
she is. I think they usually add once the original banner goes away.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Elisa is on here, the Rotom one. Okay, I mean, that's pretty much all I have to say about Fantina. Do you have anything you want to mention before we get out of here?
Just the fun fact is that she has jiggle physics, but only on her hair. So those 4 giant balls of hair bounce all over the place when you move her character model around.
That's funny. Alright, well, I guess that's going to do it for this one. I kind of want to do more of these in the future, just because it helps me learn the game more, and I'm trying to get into it slowly. I'm not an expert by any means, but I've played gacha games before, I've played mobile games before, so I can sort of look at what units are doing and then be able to extrapolate like to at least a semi-decent degree how good they should end up being in the game. But yeah, I appreciate you taking the time to come onto the channel. So again, I'll leave a link to the discussion video we did over on Zen's channel in the description below. And I hope you guys enjoyed this one. First time doing a discussion-based video on this game, so definitely we'll try and improve that in the future. But yeah, see you all in the next one.
See you later, everybody.